The Petroleum Industry Act passed in 2021 provides the most significant progress guideline for the gas sector in strengthening governance and providing fiscal framework for the sector's growth. Nigeria's Decade of Gas plan is thus an offspring of the PIA, which aims to power the economy entirely with gas by the year 2030. But can Nigeria attain this target considering the current challenges facing the oil and gas industry? Experts here share their views.
This is the time that Nigeria needs to produce more oil that can enable us have money to divest and to invest in renewables.
The PIA being implemented is again a slower process, right? I mean, we passed the bill after 20 years of a delay, but we expect implementation to be ramped up. But specifically, we also expect alignment with the other government policies, the overarching development plan for Nigeria, and also the energy transition plan.
The gas transition plan is the core focus of the roundtable that has brought together industry stakeholders and experts in the oil and gas sector.
There's a clear role for gas. When we think about the deficits we currently have in the country in terms of power, we think about clean cooking, we think about even transport. But then as we start to drive implementation, it's important to know what are the costs that are associated.
So what will be important is for the government to right-size its gas ambitions. What that means is that we've had very significant ambitions around gas for a number of years, but let's look at what's realistic now and what's feasible. Now that we have this energy transition plan, which requires $1 trillion to transition to renewables, let's see what's possible.
According to the plan, the federal government's target is to attract $14 billion in foreign direct investments. Sadly, investments in the gas power generation sector has been falling for the last decade.
What they fund are majorly perhaps renewables, alternatives, and the reason they are not doing anything about fossil fuel funding is because of the, that concept of, global emission.
We require a lot of investments into our infrastructure, and for that we need a lot of investment, a lot of funding, and most of that comes from the foreign sources and foreign companies and development banks. And given that there's a lot of commitment to defund fossil fuel projects, of which gas is one, that then presents challenges for Nigeria's plan to expand its gas use.
The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NEITI, highlights what needs to be done to grow the gas sector. Among the recommendations is a call for the reconstitution of the Presidential Steering Committee to ensure the total implementation of the PIA.
But because that committee is so important in fashioning out a whole comprehensive layout of strategy of what needs to be done, it shouldn't just be jettisoned.
Gas experts say a market-based pricing regime where producers and consumers are free to engage in transactions without government interference would generate more government revenues and free up capital for government to spend in other weaker sectors of the economy. Georgina Ndukwezaika, Arise News.